Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, Arsenal are set to spend over 200 million this summer. Can you believe it? Now, after me saying that Kroenke doesn't have money, Kroenke doesn't want to spend, looks like Arsenal are going to be spending over 200 million euros this summer. Goal.com have just confirmed that after signing Gabriel Jesus, Yuri Tillemans, Fabio Vieira and McInnes, Arsenal will not stop at that. Most signings, including Rafinha, who is being discussed, will be talked about, and we will be looking at them coming into the squad. So in this video, we're going to look at all the done deals and how much they've cost Arsenal. We'll also look at the incoming done deals and how much they cost us, and we'll discuss the budget that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta could have this summer. If it is over 200 million, does that make us title contenders? Does that make us at least competitors with Chelsea and favourites for the top four? Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the podcast, join the family by easily subscribing. Like I said, let's get this video to 500 likes. That is what we do on this podcast. Let's spread the love. And of course, the only way you can spread the love is by hitting the like button. 500 is our target. We had 42,000 subscribers. If you're new, please consider subscribing. Now, in the comment section, let me know. Do you think this could be Arsenal's biggest summer? That is one of the things I need you to let me know. Do you think this is going to be one of Arsenal's biggest summer transfer windows? And then, if Arsenal brought in Tillemans, Fabio Vieira, and Gabriel Jesus, which other players do you think Arsenal, or do you want Arsenal to bring into the squad this campaign? That is my question for you. Of course, I would also love to know whether you feel Arsenal this summer will be, this summer makes Arsenal title contenders, or it makes Arsenal top four favorites, or it makes us, silverware contenders, for example, in the Europa League. Does it make us any better than we were last season in terms of competing for silverware? Yes, it definitely upgrades us, but does it put us in that situation where we are fighting for silverware? Let me know in the comments below. Now, let's get into it. First and foremost, you have four deals that Arsenal are closing, 3 done deals, and one deal that is very, very close. McInnes has cost Arsenal a total of 3.5 million euros. That is a done deal, signing on a 5-year contract until 2027. There are no more questions. There are no more excuses on that one. That is done. The other done deal is Fabio Vieira. We've discussed him over the past 48 hours. If you've not seen the videos, then please make sure you do go and watch them. Every update around that story, we've done it. 40 million euros. So on those two only, Arsenal have spent a staggering 43.5 million euros. Bear in mind that Fabio Vieira is only 22 and McInnes is only 19. So Arsenal have signed 2 players an average age of 20 for 43.5 million euros. Arsenal have also agreed a deal with Manchester City to sign Gabriel Jesus for 50 million euros. That means that now 3 done deals have cost Arsenal. That is now 93.5 million euros. Yuri Tillemans, talks are advancing. The deal is working. Arsenal working on the deal as per Fabrizio Romano and The Athletic, and is expected that the player will cost Arsenal around 30 million euros. So that is where we are now in the market. In the last 2 weeks, actually, in the last 7 days, Arsenal have are confirmed now to be one of the top spenders in the market in the Premier League once again, outspending Real Madrid, who have bought Aurelien Tchouameni for 100 million euros, outspending Liverpool, who have bought Darwin Núñez for 100 million euros, and now I think outspending any club that is that has spent money this summer. So if you look at those 4 signings, they're definitely big signings. They're definitely huge signings. And in my opinion, it is an absolute bargain. Those deals are absolute bargains. Should Arsenal add to that Do we need more players after bringing in those three? Actually, those four. In my opinion, yes. And it has been just confirmed by Goal.com and Charles Watts in their latest piece that Arsenal will not be deterred. Their interest is not ending in Gabriel Jesus, in Yuri Telemans, Fabio Vieira, and McInnes. Actually, it is that could be just a tip of the iceberg. Arsenal are looking to bring in more signings. According to Goal.com, they have looked and pointed out Rafinha. So let's talk about Rafinha. Arsenal have already spent 120.3 million, 123.5 million euros. So if Rafinha comes in, Rafinha is going to cost Arsenal a staggering 50 million euros. Do Arsenal have this budget? You're gonna ask me, because personally I reported that Stan Kroenke was withholding the money. It didn't mean that we were broke. He was refusing to spend. And now, with these deals now being done, with these deals being cracked, it looks like Arsenal have the money to spend this summer. Kroenke, I mean, I don't like him. I definitely don't like him. So I'm not going to say thank you, Kroenke, but I would say, yeah, well done. I mean, you've got to spend money on us. On us, we make a lot of money for you. You need to spend. You need to be spending huge amounts of money as well on the club. So Rafinha coming in at Arsenal would be costing us 50 million euros, and that drives the transfer. The transfer net spend from 123 to 185. Sorry, 175.5 million. Million euros. We are also looking at Victor Osimhen, who would cost Arsenal around 85 million pounds. That is 90 million euros. So if you add 173.5 million euros, you add that to Victor Osimhen's 100 million euros for me, which I think Napoli will be willing to accept at all costs. That would be 273.5 million euros. Then you have Aaron Hickey, who would make the deal, who would make the overall transfer budget 300 million. So do Arsenal have the budget? Do we have the muscles? Do we have the legs to fund a 300 million euro budget this summer? This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to share my opinions about that. I've told you about all the done deals and how much they've cost. And I've also told you, about the incoming prospects and how much they would cost. So this is my opinion. First and foremost, after signing these four, Arsenal need at least another 3 more signings. A player playing, a player covering Kieran Tierney. I've already said that we do not need to bring in a backup right back. So Aaron Hickey, if he can play well as a left back, or for me, it would even be better to bring in someone who can cover both, left centre back and also right back. Someone who can be, used as a flexible option. We've been linked with a couple of them. We've been the latest one being the Ajax centre back, left-footed centre back, the Butcher. I mean, people call him the Butcher, and we'll call him the Butcher on this podcast. So if Arsenal can agree a deal for the Butcher around 25 million euros, that would be absolutely smart. You bring in a player who is going to give you that flexibility, covers for Kieran Tierney, and also covers for Gabriel Magalhaes. The problem with Kieran Tierney is his importance to Arsenal. You do not want to risk bringing in someone who is not good enough. You don't want to risk someone who is a gambler in that role, because our creativity, despite the fact that now the likes of Fabio Vieira have come in, the likes of Odegaard around, the likes of Partey are contributing, Saka and Martinelli, but our creativity also, especially on the left-hand side of the pitch, is really highly based on the performances, on the good performances of Kieran Tierney. So you need someone who can come in there and give you almost become a replica of Kieran Tierney. So I'll go for a backup left back. A backup left-sided centre back can wait, but a backup left back this summer for me cannot wait. The other, I think, for backup right back, Brooke Nathan Coffey should be given a chance. Give him a chance. Brooke Nathan Coffey should be given a chance, right? So I don't think we need to spend lots of money on a backup right back. The other position we should be spending money on this summer is the forward line. After Gabriel Jesus and Edin Ketia confirming that there will be Arsenal players, after confirmations of all that, I think Arsenal will definitely and desperately need to bring in someone else, on that forward line. Because look, Eddie is not a bad player, and Gabriel Jesus is also not a bad player. But it doesn't hurt, in my opinion, if Arsenal can just go out there. Yes, we are not going to get Gianluca Scamacca now, but look around the Premier League. Getting Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney could cost us around maybe 30, maybe 35 million euros. With English players, that's the problem. They always have that, extra premium price that you have to pay, and at times doesn't make any sense. But if we can add a striker, so we'll have brought in 2 strikers and add another defender as a backup left back, then one more signing would be, in my case, Rafinha. Because if Arsenal can bring in Rafinha, if we can agree a deal for Rafinha, you have cover for Martinelli, and then you have cover for Saka as well. I think Rafinha becomes that. Look, he might be an automatic starter, and that makes Emile Smith-Rowe a cover on the left, and then Gabriel Martinelli a cover for Saka, or Martinelli being that guy who just comes in once in a while and provides that provides that depth in the squad. Because I think Rafinha starts ahead of Martinelli, and you would even argue that if he played for us in this season, this season that we've completed, he might have been a little bit ahead of Bukayo Saka. So the 3 players that I'll bring in Rafinha, I'll bring in Ivan Toney just to cover for Gabriel Jesus, and also provide us with that very different kind of dimension. That kind of player who just has very, very different features from Edin Ketia and Gabriel Jesus. And of course that means that I can also go for DCL if I'm looking at that. And then I would go for a backup left back. Without a backup left back, we've been linked with a couple of them. I don't know how Alexander Zinchenko is. Yeah, he's not a bad one. Tino Livramento is not a bad one either, as well. So for me, I would go for 3 more signings after the confirmation of these initial deals. But the question is, do Arsenal have the budget? Do we have the minerals to fund such a budget? This is my answer, and I think it's a smart answer. It is yes. When you look at our outgoings, we are not going to get a lot of money, but Xhaka could move on for around 20 million euros or 25 million euros. Torreira could move on for around 15 million euros. That is already 40 million euros, right? You could move on Nicola Pepe for around 40 million euros. That is now 80 million euros. Banleno could move on for 20 million euros. That is 100 million euros. So Arsenal, of course, I've not talked about the likes of Ainsley Maitland-Niles that could move on to this summer for another 20 million euros. So in only outgoings, Arsenal is looking at a total budget, budget of around 130 million euros. If we can get the players out and negotiate very, very good business, negotiate very good deals for them, we could get about 130 million euros in outgoings, right? Of course, you expect Stan Kroenke the clown. If we get 120 million euros or 130, he can give us that extra 70 million euros from his pocket. I don't know if he can. I mean, he doesn't care about us anyway. But if he can, then you're looking at that is 200 million euros. Now, remember, Arsenal have played games this campaign with fans back in the stadium. We've been selling match. We've been selling season tickets. We've been selling match tickets. We've been earning match day revenue. Right? And matchday revenue is now a little bit higher. Arsenal is a big club. We're back in Europe. That is also money. So if you look at all these sources of income, there is no way Arsenal cannot fund a 300 100 million euro budget. And look, how much is Kroenke going to contribute from his own pocket? It's going to be just what? Just 70, 50, 60 million euros. Not much money, from the Kroenkes, but then would still stand as as a club. So if you see 6 signings this campaign, 7 signings, don't be surprised, and I'll be absolutely glad if Arsenal can do that, because that means we are now back to the level we have quality in every area and enough quality in every area. See you soon.